So Jaden Ivey was let go of the Bulls earlier, or yesterday, I believe. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. So Bulls waive guard Jaden Ivey after his anti-gay comments. The Chicago Bulls waived guard Jaden Ivey for conduct detrimental to the team Monday, hours after he posted a lengthy video rant, was not lengthy, on social media about religion and other topics that included anti-gay sentiments. Ivy has gone live on his Instagram account more frequently in the past week, posting at least three lengthy videos after he was shut down for the rest of the season by the team because of injury last Thursday. On Monday morning, he called out the NBA for promoting Pride Month, saying it celebrates unrighteousness. Now, he's on a podcast that just premiered a couple hours ago. And on that podcast, he pretty much was saying that he was good to play. He wasn't necessarily in a hurt state to where he couldn't necessarily play. They had just sat him down because they didn't want him to play. And he was like, they're not going to make the playoffs anyway. So what's the big deal with y'all really just doing a runaround with sitting me down and then, suspending me from the team and letting me go? All this doesn't even make any sense, all because of my beliefs of, pride and everything. So the world proclaims LGBTQ right, Ivy said during the video stream. They proclaim Pride Month, and the NBA does too. They show it to the world, they say. Come join us for Pride Month to celebrate unrighteousness, they proclaim. Well, I'll just play the video for you guys. But yeah, the Bulls had acquired Ivy at 24 years old from the Detroit Pistons before the trade deadline last month. He got drafted with the number 5 pick. But the bigger talk is, the freedom of speech in this and why he even got released in the first place. But let me just play this first one here of the first time he got to. Okay, so yeah, here we go.
The Chicago Bulls are waiving Jaden Ivey after only playing 4
This is where he
games
got,
with the team for
in trouble
recent
for.
anti-LGBTQ comments on social media, including this 45-minute live stream on his Instagram where he said a few of these things.
That the world can proclaim LGBTQ, right? They proclaim Pride Month and the NBA. They proclaim it. They show it to the world. They say, come join us for Pride Month to celebrate unrighteousness. They proclaim it. They proclaim it on the billboards. They proclaim it in the streets. Unrighteousness. So how is it that one can't speak righteousness? How is it one that how are they to say that you man, this man is crazy? Don't we all doesn't even the world make judgments on certain things? So how is it when the gospel is preached that people hate it? That people don't want to hear it, and they think it's strange when someone preaches the gospel, the true gospel. God did not make a man to be with a man. How God did not make a girl to be with a girl. God made a man for the purpose of procreation, to have another child. How can a woman bear a child with a woman? How? Unless they go to the doctor and it can't happen physically. They have the same body part. They cannot bear children unless they get something done, right? So God didn't make that to be God didn't make a woman for a woman. No, he made a woman for the man. That's why, that's exactly what God made. He made things good. He made the trees. He made the sun. If the sun was ever closer, we would burn. But he made it in a proper place so that we get the proper light in the day. He made the grass. He gave us water to drink. If we didn't have water to drink, we would be dehydrated. God is faithful. And Jesus bless you all.
So yeah, that was pretty much the video that he had gotten in trouble for. And what doesn't make sense to me is, how can you get in trouble for, I had to take the shades off, might as well. How can you get in trouble for just having, your freedom of speech, but somebody like, let me show you this here. So this, for example, right? Ja Morant. You remember Ja Morant and his shit that happened? So you can get in trouble for your freedom of speech. Now move that. You can get let go from your entire team.
Grizzly star Ja Morant has been suspended for a second time after once again appearing to flash a gun on social media. The video circulated on Saturday night. It shows Morant with what appears to be a handgun while he's riding in a friend's car. Yesterday, the Grizzlies said they were aware of the video and suspended Morant from all team activities pending league review. In March, Morant was suspended from...
But a nigga can have a whole gun on his live and just get a slap on the wrist and a suspension for a week. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You can't say nothing about gay pride. You can't say nothing against gay pride, I should say. But you could damn sure wave your gun and listen to some ratchet music on live and be in the NBA. You gonna be all right with that. They'll give you a slap on the, you'll be all right in a couple of weeks. Just ride the bench for a little bit so they don't say nothing else to you. Stay your ass off live with that damn gun. We know you got it. He don't get thrown off the Grizzlies for that. No. But let a man talk about his religion with Jesus Christ and his beliefs against gays. Now, me, myself, personally, I have no personal gripe against gays. Have no beef with LGBTQ. I have no beef. My only thing has always been, we do not need to force feed it to the children. That has been my only thing. So even in this, I have to ask myself, out of all the things you could let the man go for, why it had to be this? Reason why I'm asking is because my whole thing with the NBA is, why I got to celebrate it anyway? What they got to do with sports? There's not even anybody gay in the damn NBA except Karl Anthony Towns. It's just that nigga. Jason Collins don't play no more. I think Isaac Towns or something like that. He don't play no damn. What was it? Isaac something. Not Isaac Hughes, but what the fuck was his name? What the hell is his goddamn name? It was Isaac something. Isaac Humphries, yeah. But that was in the NBL. That wasn't even in the NBA. But yeah. Ain't nobody actively gay in the goddamn NBA. What the fuck y'all celebrating it for? that's what my whole thing was. I'm like, what? Why y'all got to celebrate it? For what? for what? What promotional gain do you have from it? I can see y'all doing things for cancer and breast cancer month and all that shit, but y'all don't got nothing to do with Pride Month. Basketball don't got nothing to do with Pride Month whatsoever. So my whole thing was, what does his belief got to do with him being able to shoot a basketball? Nothing. What does that got to do with his conduct with the team? I could see you saying, okay, it affects our branding and marketing for the Bulls. No, the fuck it don't. No, the fuck it don't. What any of this? What does him and his belief with NBA celebrating Pride Month got to do with him being able to shoot basketball? Absolutely nothing. DJ Big Game, what's going on? Yes, definitely hit that like button. It helps the algorithm. It helps other people see. Please hit that like and subscribe button. But his freedom of speech should have nothing to do with him being able to play on a court. Have nothing to do with how he interacts with his team. Nothing to do with how he interacts with his coach, staff, hell, the CEO of the Bulls. He had nothing to do with it. The man just said what he said he said how he felt on live. But Mr. Ja Morant could openly wave a gun while he going through a car wash, riding through the hood. Just, I don't get it. I don't understand. And now his family, the poor man family calling him psycho. The poor man family is calling him psycho.
Jaden Ivey went live on Instagram again today and said even his own loved ones are calling him psycho, and also that his wife won't even text him. And Swaggy P did his own Instagram live telling Jaden Ivey how he could get back into the NBA.
Oh, matter of fact, before I play this one, because I forgot. We played it, what? I forgot. He did a couple of other lives in response to him getting released from the Bulls. Almost forgot that.
Way to play, bro. Right? I said they said my conduct is detrimental to the team. Right? Why didn't they just say we don't agree with his stance on LGBTQ? Why didn't they say that? But how is it conduct detrimental to the team? What did I do to the team? What did I do to the players? I did nothing but practice with them, play with them, pass the ball to them, good teammate to them. Said good job, good shot. I said, good job, good pass. Way to play, bro. Right? I said these things to my teammates. Was never detrimental to them. So why is it that the NBA and the Chicago Bulls say that I'm detrimental to the team? How? Because I believe in the truth. Because I know Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. How? How is my conduct detrimental to the team? Because of what I believe. Because of what the truth is.
I feel the same way. I feel the same exact way, Jaden. But then this is the one that's going viral. That's making him look, quote unquote, crazy.
I believe he's a Christian because he wrote. That's why you got Steph Curry and he not even surrendered. And y'all believe he's a Christian. Y'all believe he's a Christian because he wrote Philippians 4:13. Y'all think he's a Christian. But he cursing just like the world.
We are now almost ready to go, so please take your seats, fasten your seatbelt.
Friendship with the world is enmity with God. He's friendship with the world. He don't know Jesus. And I pray he comes to the truth. That him and his family will be saved in Jesus' name. Because all that stuff is not going to matter on Judgment Day. All them rings he got.
I'll buy it, yes. All them rings LeBron got. All them rings Michael Jordan got.
Now, the thing is, I agree with him on that, right? So I agree with him on all the rings LeBron got, Jordan got, everybody got. Ain't gonna matter on Judgment Day. I do agree with him on that because we all know about, the crooked ways of billionaires in Hollywood. We have talked about LeBron's, his allegations with the WNBA player that alleged that he trafficked her, him being alleged to be at Diddy parties, among other things with LeBron, right? Jordan in his past, as far as, why he was really suspended from the NBA, or should I say why he really retired, quote unquote, for the first time. He was really suspended from the NBA because of his gambling problem. Then the rumor of his father being a victim of his gambling addiction, among other things. Jordan's recent video of him patting down a boy looking crazy, among other things. Again, and then you add Steph Curry into the mix. The only thing with Steph Curry is what you said about Steph Curry was kind of out of context, because it didn't have any clarity to it or as to why you would mention Steph Curry. There hasn't been any really gay rumors about Steph Curry other than, if you, and then put me on record saying this, right? Because I've always kind of not necessarily said anything about the whole Ayesha Curry thing. I'm very aware of the Ayesha Curry interviews that have been going around, and people are saying that she's mocking him and this and the third. I'm very aware of those things because I also look at that in a Jada Pinkett, Will Smith way, to where this woman is able to say these things openly and truthfully about him, but of course he feels no type of way towards it. But we all know who is also the breadwinner in the household and why she is able to say these things, because if there was a divorce, there is a prenup, and we all know who wins in the prenup, in the divorce. So of course Steph Curry cannot say anything or openly say anything, but that would also lead one to believe, well, is this really a Will Smith, Jada Pinkett situation to where this man might have something behind closed doors that we don't know about going on, into why he was able to even get the amount of rings that he has, why he was able to get the special treatment of the 3-point ball that was so special a couple of years ago. Remember when Steph Curry couldn't fucking miss a damn shot? Now all of a sudden he can't hit a damn shot sometimes. So there was those special times where even, matter of fact, I'll bring this up because shout out to the homie that sent me this as well, because that just brings me up on my other topic right here. I'll just bring this up real quick because it coincides with what I'm talking about here. Because, Lakers coach J.J. Redick, and when he had said this about, so there was a movie called Blue Chips. If you guys remember back in the day, there was a movie called Blue Chips, right? And in Blue Chips, the games were rigged pretty much with this ball that had a magnet inside of it. So he actually referenced that, right? Ironically, he references that. Let me see here. So I want to show you the email. Isha, so lovely. What's going on? What's going on? I want to share my email. But yeah, I do have this clip here of Coach J.J. Redick ironically talking about magnets in the rim.
What did you see from your team get rolling there? Efficient second quarter there on offense, especially. What did you see from your team get rolling there?
The ball stopped rattling in and out.
That helps usually in basketball.
When there's 5 of those shots in a quarter, it's a little odd.
All right, for sure. Second half.
What was that movie? I think it took place with the Washington Huskies or something. No, maybe that's a different movie. There's a basketball movie about that where they put a little electronic chip in the ball, and every time I got near the rim, they would make it rattle off.
I wish I knew, and I totally believe you. I totally believe you.
Zone was good for us in the second quarter. We slowed them down, held them to whatever 18 points in the second quarter. Zone.
Yeah, so he pretty much tried to say, okay, I'm saying a little too much now. Let me just let me sidestep it. But yeah, NBA games are pretty much rigged, and I've talked about how the NBA, all sports to me, is no different than WWE. It's all fabricated. It's all for when the NBA had their gambling allegation. Notice how that got swept up under the rug real quick because it started to get real loud. It started to get real loud for all sports. They couldn't let that happen, right? We talked about that on the pod where Gilbert Arenas was even making his little side jokes, and then we saw the sweater worn by Chauncey Billups, showing his allegiance to the company, saying like, "Yo, I'm keeping my quiet." You know what I mean? So, and again, notice how again that same player, all that shit got swept up under the rug. All that shit got swept up under the rug. Because, like I said, if the real truth was to come out about sports being rigged through gambling and the mafia, it would be a very, interesting time for sports. You know, very interesting time for sports as far as their pockets decreasing. So, again, Jaden Ivey should not be, ridiculed and defamed for what he is saying, but unfortunately that is how this thing goes. And like I said, now this man's family is supposedly calling him psycho, he's saying.
Jaden Ivey went live on Instagram again today and said even his own loved ones are calling him psycho, and also that his wife won't even text him. And Swaggy P did his own Instagram live telling Jaden Ivey how he could get back into the NBA after his recent videos.
You are who you serve, whether it be your mother, your children. You serve your bosses at your job, whether you serve sin, whether you serve righteousness. We all have a choice. We all have a choice to whom we'll serve today. You show who you serve. Those who know me, right? Those who are around me, those who claim they love me, right? They're my blood, but they show who they serve. Right? And that's why the Bible says, that's what Jesus says, he who does the will of my Father is my mother, brother, and sister. There was brothers, Jesus had brothers, and they turned their back on Jesus. His own blood brothers turned their backs on the Son of God. His own brothers. The word is true. Those who are around me, those are my family members, betraying because of what I spoke, the truth, betraying me, saying that I'm losing my mind, saying that I'm crazy, saying that I don't know the truth. These are my own family members who love me, my blood, those who raised me, saying that I don't know the truth, man, he's psycho. He's this, he's that. Those are my own household. All because of the gospel. All because I said the truth. That unrighteousness will not be let into God's kingdom. That's the truth. The Bible is true. And they think I'm crazy. But all I come to show them is that if you repent and turn from your sin and accept the words of Christ, you can have life. You can have life abundantly. It's no peace and fornication. That's not your wife. That's not your wife. You don't know her. You don't know her. You're not married to her. You're not meant to sleep with 15 women. That's not what your body was used for. You were meant to have one wife. How God made it. He made Adam. He made Eve for Adam. Not multiple partners. Not multiple wives. Not committing adultery. Not for serving false religions who don't give you peace, who don't tell you the truth so they can lead you to hell. That's what all these false religions preach. They don't preach nothing. And y'all think I'm losing my mind.
That's why the people around me think I'm losing my mind. But I have peace. I have joy. I have the fruits of the Spirit. I don't have to search for those things no more. Jesus Christ saved me. And he can do the same for those who repent and believe in the gospel. But y'all gonna say I'm crazy and that, yeah, he's mentally going insane. He's mentally going insane. But I'm not. I have peace. I have joy. I love God. By his grace, he has transformed me. Made me a new creature in him. And he can do the same to those who repent and believe the gospel. That's why my wife in here, and she not even texting me. I love my blood. I love those who are close to me. I love them with the love of Jesus Christ. I love them. I want them to be in the knowledge of truth. I want them to have eternal life. I want all to be saved. That's what God desires. He doesn't want anyone to perish. So why would I desire that? I want all my loved ones to have peace and joy and full of the Spirit. Not stand up for unrighteousness. Not stand for the world who goes against God.
I'm gonna tell you where you messed up at.
This is Swaggy P in the NBA.
It ain't even about the community you was talking about. It's the fact that your ass went at Steph Curry.
Now, that was a very important part there for me. Because I was like, wait. So, and here's the other thing you have to remember, right? He was not let go until he said what he said about Curry. They had talked to him about what he said about the LGBTQ, but Swaggy P just made a good note to say, well, the Bulls didn't necessarily let him go until the morning that he said what he said about Curry. The Bulls hadn't made the final decision to let him go until that. They didn't make the public. They didn't make it a public thing until the video about Curry came out. At least that's how I'm seeing it on my timeline. It didn't go public as far as him being released from the Bulls until the video with Curry had came out, which Swaggy P is making a very good point of, because it's like, okay, this is similar to when someone would talk about LeBron. So, of course, this is probably a bad example of Delonte West that talked about LeBron's mom, or Deshaun Stevenson, that had his bad past with LeBron. You know what I mean? It's been a couple of instances where LeBron has gotten people kicked off of his team. He's had the Kobe treatment. Just trying to think of a couple of other instances where players get special treatment. Of course, we know about Jordan. We know about Iverson. This is practice, right? I don't have to go to practice. There's a lot of instances you could think of where a lot of players get very special treatment, and that's on and off the court. So even if you were to say something about them in the press, because they're protected by a certain order of elite, you get the hammer. It's not just you get suspended or something like that. You get the actual hammer. That's why I made a note of, why is it that Ja Morant can wave a gun around on Instagram Live, but this man can't talk about his religious beliefs? It wasn't him talking about his religious beliefs as much as him talking about Steph Curry.
You're done. You said anything about that man. You said something about Steph Curry. Oh, yeah. You talk about Steph Curry, you called the golden child, not a Christian? Oh, yeah. God might even do something to you for that. God don't play about him. What other that's 6 feet and the best player in the NBA? Jaden Ivey, your best bet now is just be gay. Your best bet is just be gay. Like, just fuck it. The next thing you know, I talk about gays because I'm gay. Just say some shit like that, because you're done. You talked about Steph Curry. Now you just got to get them on your side to come back. You want to come back to the league, You gonna have to do some Collison twin shit, yeah. Don't you ever talk about Steph Curry. You know who that is? God done blessed him, the NBA done blessed him. God, you done told God's favorite child that he's not a Christian. I can't believe this shit. Yeah, so they did something to his food on the plane. You don't never supposed to eat the steak. Don't eat the food. Don't eat the meatloaf they give you on the plane. That's what it is, y'all. He's just a little messed up. I like it. You know, I believe in God and all that, but yeah, even I know not to mess with one of God's favorite. I'm one of God's favorite. Yeah, I know. Steph, he don't mean it. He don't mean it. It hurts when you get cut and shit. You know, I didn't even want to get my ring after that. You know, I was like, damn, man, I got cut. I don't want to go get this ring. So let him slide, y'all. The world, let him slide. He don't know what he's talking about.
Now, the thing is, he does know what he's talking about. The only thing, in my opinion, is why would Swaggy P say that unless it was something that he knows? You see what I'm saying? Swaggy P said that with confidence, that you say anything about Steph Curry, something's going to definitely happen to you. No different than, like I said, if he was to say something about LeBron James, Jordan, you know what I'm saying? It's certain names that you just can't say, even certain celebrities in the industry, because they're protected by the media. Speaking of which, I want to play this video here by Stephen A. Smith real quick, because this is funny to me.
We have some NBA news out of Chicago. On Monday, the Bulls released guard Jaden Ivey for comments they deemed detrimental to the team after Ivey posted some anti-gay sentiments in a lengthy social media post. Ivey specifically took exception to the NBA's embrace of Pride Month, citing the league's, quote, unrighteousness, end quote. Ivey has been active on social media lately, vocalizing his religious views. Ivey's mother, Niele, is the head women's basketball coach at Notre Dame, right up the road at South Bend. Stephen A., what do you make of the Bulls' decision here to waive Jaden Ivey?
It's perfectly within their right to do so. I've only met Jaden Ivey once or twice. I liked him. I met him when he was drafted. His parents were there, obviously. You know, it's one of those situations, I think, and this is why I wanted to tackle this subject, because I wanted to make a point that's very, very important. You know, people have their different views. And on First Take especially, as long as I'm here, we're not going to sit up here and ostracize anybody. You know, people are entitled to be conservative. They're entitled to be liberal. They're entitled to be, you know, independent, whatever side of the aisle you lean towards, whatever your religious beliefs or what have you, that's fine. But what's needed in terms of the message that's being conveyed, what's needed to be brought across is that just as I said those individuals have that right, so do the Bulls organization or any organization. They have a right to be picky about who they want representing their brand and their product, as does the NBA. The NBA, the NFL, and various sports leagues pride themselves on being inclusionary. That's the fact. That's the way that it goes. And they don't want to come across as alienating anyone. And when you say things and do things that are antithetical to anything that they represent, then you're going to hear from the brand. And by the way, Jaden Ivey, listen to me, my brother. I work for ESPN, which is owned by Walt Disney. It doesn't mean that I have to parrot Walt Disney's speech or I have to march lockstep in every single thing that we believe as a company. But I do have to be careful about what I say and how I convey my thoughts, my opinions, my beliefs, etc., being mindful and cognizant of a brand that you represent. It applies not just to an employer. It applies not just to a company. It applies not just to a league. It applies to everybody. If Ryan Clark has the Pivot and I have my own show and whatever, and we have advertisers and sponsors, those advertisers and sponsors are going to veer away from us if it comes down to us replicating or disseminating a message that's the antithesis of everything they stand for and what they believe.
You know what I hear? It's what I hear Stephen A. Smith doing.
Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Crisscross. Crisscross. Cha-cha real smooth.
That's what I hear him doing right now. I hear this nigga sidestepping, slide to the left, slide to the right, crisscross. This nigga jumping around, crisscrossing throughout this whole thing. Nigga, get to the point, number one. Number two, stop trying to protect your elites, Stephen A. Smith. And you started out with a very credible thing saying you're not going to ostracize anybody. Yes, I understand that. You're not going to criticize anybody or talk about anybody else in their beliefs. Right? However, you were the same nigga that got me a little teed off with your thoughts about Jordan. As if nobody is allowed to say anything about Michael Jordan. That is why I'm playing this clip and getting at your ass right now. Because I did not understand why you felt the need to say nobody can talk about Michael Jordan in that manner. As if he's some type of god to you. And now here you go, sidestepping and cha-cha sliding all over this one to protect your elites once again. Because you think someone said something that was unprofessional. Pretty much what you're trying to say without saying it, you're keeping it politically correct, as they say, quote unquote, right? You're keeping it politically correct, trying to say, you should just be quiet, Jaden. Shut up and dribble. Matt, shut up and dribble. When they said that to LeBron, and that was a whole big thing, shut up and dribble. That's what you basically saying to Jaden right now. Shut up and dribble. Because he has his beliefs. He has to shut the fuck up and dribble pretty much. He's not allowed to say anything. He's not allowed to have an opinion about the NBA celebrating Pride Month. He's not allowed to have an opinion about that shit. But you're allowed to have a fucking opinion about everything going on in LeBron's life. You allowed to have an opinion about everybody else fucking business. But he's not allowed to have an opinion upon the NBA selling NBA Pride. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, Steven.
And I think that Jaden Ivey, what he was doing on Instagram with a string of videos, he took into account what his personal beliefs are, okay? And that's to be respected by some, and it's not going to be respected by others. But where he really, really messed up is that clearly he was giving no thought to the Chicago Bulls as an organization, and dare I say the NBA. And as a result, now his NBA career may be in jeopardy. Why? Because you felt the need to go on Instagram to convey your personal thoughts for what? You just look at people sometimes and you want them to see, look at the big picture. You know, everybody's not going to vibe with you. Everybody's not going to agree with you, and that's fine. But be careful about disseminating messages, particularly when they're non-inclusionary, and it seems to alienate and ostracize a group of people, not measuring people by the content of their character, but instead labeling a group of people the way that he did. That's unfortunate. I'm not here to engage in condemnation. I don't want Jaden Ivey out of the league. I don't want him to ruin his career. I don't want anything like that for him. I swear I don't. And I'm hoping that he'll be back playing for somebody in the league. All I'm saying is that it's important that he sees, and everybody out there sees, the big picture. You play in the NBA, you play in the NFL, you play in Major League Baseball. This notion that you get to be your own individual brand and you have no one to answer to and you have no one to take into consideration, that is a lie. That is not true. Don't let these people out here that ain't got any damn jobs, that don't have people to answer to, that's hoping to have a shred of the success that you have, don't let them influence you and get in the way of your business. You could do a lot of things and live your life and be very, very productive, courtesy of playing in the NBA with the money that you have the potential to make. But there's a price that comes with that. And sometimes that means being quiet and not feeling compelled to let the world know where you stand on every single issue. He didn't need to do that. It was counterproductive. And the Bulls showed him that by letting him go. And I'm just hopeful that the NBA collectively doesn't follow suit and ostracize this guy. He's young. He made a mistake. I don't even know if he knows he made a mistake. But the point is, regardless of your beliefs or what have you, most people going to say it's wrong. Some people going to say it's right. In the end, be careful about what you disseminate because it lives forever and you're held accountable. And why? Because you wanted to vent for 15 minutes? Be smarter than that. There's a bigger picture to take into consideration.
Yeah.
And I don't think he did that here. And that's my issue.
The initial video is 42 minutes long, roughly around there. He's had some similar rants
I
on
didn't see the
social
whole
media in the last couple of weeks.
42 fucking minutes. Jesus Christ, he said a lot there. But we looked at enough footage of that. Just my whole thing, like I said, with Stephen A. Smith even saying what he said and how a lot of people feel about this is my whole thing. He shouldn't be suspended for his beliefs. Or should I say he shouldn't be let go off a team because of his beliefs, and somebody gets to get away with waving a gun, riding around in a car like it's nothing. He shouldn't be let go of a team, and the other one just gets a slap on the wrist and a suspension for a couple of weeks. That's the part that just don't make no sense to me. It makes zero sense to me. But again, it does make sense because we understand how special treatment again works. If you put asses in the seats, you are allowed to do whatever the fuck you please. That is the end all be all of that. You are allowed to do whatever you please as long as you put asses in the seats.